This is the Inclusion Think Tank podcast where we talk about inclusive education, why it works, and how to make it happen. On today's episode, I have a conversation with Becky Charles-Estain. Becky was part of a panel discussion that was facilitated by myself and All In's Executive Director Michele Gardner at the recent All In Summer Inclusion Conference in June. Our conversation today is part one of a three-part series of episodes with the self-advocates who participated in that workshop. Our conversation starts with Bob Hulit, the Director of Post-Secondary Programming at the Achievement Center at Raritan Valley Community College, and then Becky and I discuss inclusive education, her experiences at school, and the importance of having inclusive adult communities. I would like to welcome everyone back to another episode of the Inclusion Think Tank podcast. I'm your host, Arthur Aston, and I am back today with a new episode with my guest, Bob. So, Bob, welcome to the podcast. And we had the privilege of working together recently, preparing for our summer inclusion conference that was hosted by All In for Inclusive Education. Where some of your students were part of a panel discussion that I helped moderate with our executive director, Michele Gardner. So it's great to be in touch with you again, and thanks for joining me for this episode.
Oh, no, I'm excited about it. And, it was a great experience for our alumni students to be able to do that and, kind of get their experiences, answer some questions and, the challenges and triumphs of them as students. So, yeah.
Yes. Can you share with us the history of the Achievement Center, how it came to be and what services you offer to those who are enrolled there?
Thank you, Arthur. Thanks for having me. My name is Bob Hulit. I'm the Director of Post-Secondary Program, a very long title, of the Achievement Center at Raritan Valley Community College. The Achievement Center is a college transition program for anybody with an intellectual or developmental disability that might be thinking about college but might not be ready. So our program started 9 years ago, this past January. Next year in 2026, we'll be celebrating our 10th anniversary. So we're very excited about that. And programs like these are relatively new. I think even the oldest one in New Jersey is maybe 14 or 15 years old. And I took over the program about a year in. And it was a conversation between our executive director at the ARC of Somerset County that operates the Achievement Center and the college president, Dr. Michael McDonough, about creating a program here. And Chris Corvino, who's our current executive director of the ARC of Somerset County, was our curriculum coordinator that started the program. And we started it with 2 students in 2 classes, not sure how it would work. I took over about a year in, turned it more into an academic program with life skill classes for sure. And fast forward now, starting this fall semester, we went from 2 students to 2 classes to now we'll have 180 students in our program. Wow. We have 65 students who currently take Raritan Valley Community College classes. We've had 8 graduates of Raritan Valley Community College. In fact, 2 just this past year. In fact, we have about 5 or 6 students going to 4-year schools and universities and stuff. So it's a college transition program that works on all different skill levels for students. It's 3 years based. It doesn't mean that students have to go 3 years. Most do, or take longer to that. But we really work on all the building blocks for academics for all of our students, whether it's communication skills. We have about 9 different communication classes, which also include like starting conversations, teamwork classes. We have several self-advocacy classes, mathematics classes, note-taking classes. We teach our students how to note-take. We have time management and planning classes, English classes, computer classes, all of these building blocks that any student, if they want to go to college, and right now we're about 98% of our students coming from our program to doing that. But everything you would need to be successful as a college student, but not only just in college, in all parts of your life, whether it's your personal life, a work environment, all those different things. So we offer all these different classes. We run fall, spring, and summer all year round. When the college starts here on September 3rd in the fall, we start. We have summer classes going on currently. We even have in the summer classes for high school students who are thinking about our program or at least building up their skill levels to be able to come to whether it's our college transition program or one of the other ones that are offered in the state or other places.
That's amazing to hear about the growth over since where you started and where you're at now with all the students that are participating. That's amazing. It's so cool to hear.
Yeah, no, it's great. And I have a very great, fantastic creative staff. It's really the students who have kind of driven it. And really, I always use the example of this is my students are great on phones. They could make films and everything. But what we found for a lot of our students that they didn't know even the basics about computers or Excel and PowerPoint. So we created classes on that. Same thing for self-advocacy classes, note-taking, all those different things. And I can honestly say, and a lot of my staff will say the same thing, is when I went to college, I wish I had some of these classes. I wish I had a time management class. I wish I had a note-taking class. And I think the best example is besides the 65 students is in the spring semester, we have 5 students make the dean's list at Raritan Valley Community College. Although we're an academic base, we have life skills and we have career classes that talk about those things. But we also talk about that college is also about making friends and building relationships and
Mhm.
all that stuff and having fun. And that learning's fun. And that's what we really emphasize with our students, because I can honestly say some of our students have went to really good progressive high schools and matriculated in high school classes. Some did a little bit of it, but more than half of my students, whether they had one chance or never did homework in their lives, it's that, hey, challenging them. And our kind of running mantra here is whose life is it? It's my life. And it's about them. And then for them, figuring out what they want to do. And what we always say is a lot of interests are the things that you become careers or things that you want to do the rest of your life. So.
Wow, that's great. That's really great. And it's so important because um everybody's an individual and they all have, their different interests and, different
Absolutely.
different paths that everyone is going to take. So it's really cool. And I just love how you said that it was how it started so small and now it has grown into something that is so big. That's really great.
Absolutely, and I think it's formed because of the different things. We have another thing that's not an academic thing that we do. It's called Club Friday Night Hangout that we do on Friday nights. It's a recreational and activity-based thing, and to offer that kind of recreational, because I know sometimes finding good social skills groups is difficult and so forth. And that has blossomed from the fall of 2018 of 6 students in it to now I have 55 students in it. And we do it in the summer on Wednesday nights. We're having it tonight and stuff. So I think it's all of those different parts of it, and we want that learning can be fun and it can be interesting, and it's about them and learning all different kind of skill levels that they can use as part of life. And when I do lots of presentations, students say they want to be independent, but there's a lot you need to learn about yourself to be able to do that. And we teach our students also that obstacles and barriers are going to happen and how to overcome those challenges. My teachers and my mentors talk about when we've made mistakes and that we're not perfect and how
Mhm.
to, and this building those support systems, I think is great. Absolutely.
So as I mentioned, you and I we recently connected a few months ago, I guess at this point,
Yeah.
to begin planning for a panel discussion that I was co-moderating with our executive director at All In, Michele Gardner. So three of the panelists on that for that discussion were Rebecca, Sanjit, and Jonathan, and I'm recording this with you to give just a little bit of a background about the TAC as an introduction to those podcast episodes. So, can you just share a little bit about these alumni students and something that you remember while working with them when they were part of your program?
Becky Charles-Estain, she's a 2023 graduate of the Achievement Center. Um, Becky is also attends both. She does continue to take Achievement Center classes, but also takes RVCC college credit class. She's pursuing a degree, associate's degree in speech pathology with a concentration in education. She's kind of dipping her toe in both waters. She's not exactly sure what she wants to do, which is great. That's part of life and college to figure out. A couple things I want to mention about Becky too. She's the president of our alumni committee. And she's also, we have a partnership with Raritan Valley Community College, and they've created an Achievement Center scholarship for our students. And she was a 2023 award winner of that scholarship. So, one of the things I'd say about Becky is, like all of our students, nervous and scared when they came here and wasn't sure what she wanted to do. But I think the thing that Becky found out very quickly, and we found out about her, is she's a natural born leader. Me talking about her being a board president or even participating in these podcasts and all these different things and advocating about our program. But she was one of those reluctant leaders who didn't see it, who thought somebody else was. And I always remember that she was in my social skills for groups class, which is a lot of teamwork things. And she was in a group. She didn't want to be the leader. And then watching her, well, I think this is the thing we should do. And I think you should need to do this. And I think this. And okay, we all need to coordinate together. And went over. And then she realized, oh, you know what? I think I like being a leader. And, I think that's one of the great things about Becky is she's going to run towards that and so forth in all parts of her life. And that's, she wants more and more. And I think that's who Becky is.
Bob, thank you so much for joining me for this conversation and to share with us all of the great work you're doing there at the TAC. And very happy to share this new episode coming up now with Becky. I would like to welcome everyone back to a new episode of the Inclusion Think Tank podcast, brought to you by All In for Inclusive Education. I'm your host, Arthur Aston, and today I'm joined by my guest, Becky. So, Becky, thank you for joining me for this conversation today.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And to start the conversation, can you just introduce yourself? You can share a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you like to do for fun, some things you're interested in, um, and some of the goals that you have for your future.
Sure. So my name is Becky. I am 26 years old. I am the president of the Achievement Center Alumni Committee. And what I like to do for fun is cooking and teaching young children. My goals in life would be to get into a degree in speech pathology with young toddlers, children.
That's great. That's awesome. So I'm really happy that you are a guest on the podcast. You and I, we met a few months ago when we were planning to uh, do a panel discussion. So you were part of a panel discussion at our recent All In Summer Inclusion Conference that was held in June. You were one of those panelists there to talk about your experience of school and inclusive education and being part of the program at the Achievement Center. So, for this next question, can you tell us um, what are some of your favorite memories about school from your time in elementary school through your high school experience?
Oh, sure. So in elementary school, what I would love to do is communicate with the teachers with like just basic things like if I was jump roping, what is like the best way to jump rope, or like looking at the sky, having like the different pictures, like say if a cloud looked like a starfish, I would just ask them, hey, I just saw a cloud that looked like a starfish. Or just like favorite movies, like what movie do you like to watch? Like if is it Disney? Is it uh just any type of like genre of shows? That's when I was in elementary school. And also I had friends too that we would play like kickball, or we would have like my favorite part would be like field day where we would have like different games that we would play. So, but fast forward to high school, I basically was also in class, and I did still continue to communicate with kids, well, high school students who are my own age, and then also have to ask for help when I was in one of my classes as well in school, in high school, and we would play in gym class. We would do like guard the castle. It was like kickball. It was like I forgot the game, but like it's basically
Like
like
dodgeball.
yes, like
Hmm.
dodgeball, but it was with pins, and we just have to knock down the pins, and whatever side that you're on team, basically, that team would win. But my favorite game would be volleyball, actually, because I never really played volleyball as a like sport, but I like to play that game. Um, so yeah, that's basically my favorite memories. And some of the classes would be like English class as well. So
Hmm.
not so much math, but
I can definitely identify with that. I definitely preferred English class over math class myself. And what I liked you sharing your experience is what I liked about that is, your teachers, you had communication with your teachers and, um, you were able to share some of the things that you like and you asked them what they liked about their movies, their favorite movies. Or like you
right.
said, you noticed like certain cloud shapes look like certain
Hmm.
objects and you would be able to identify that and share that with your teachers. And then I really like that you mentioned that you had friends there in school and were able to talk with the fellow students there in your classes throughout your school experience. So that's really, really cool. So a little off topic, what is your favorite movie or your favorite genre of movies?
Okay. Well, I really like Disney. My favorite movie uh is like Pocahontas. I don't know
Mhm.
why. I just like that movie, the first and the second one. But I recently, not recently, but I do like watching like Frozen 2. So the
Okay.
first one and the second one, they are coming out with a third one, I believe. So I'm not sure what year it's gonna come up, but they're gonna
Mhm.
come up with a third one. So
Okay, Disney movies. I love Disney movies.
yes.
They're really great. I like the original Lion King. The very original one. That was really, really a cool movie when it came out. And I think it
Mhm.
still holds up today. So I just heard you talk about movies, so I wanted to ask ask that extra
It's okay.
question. Um, so you shared some of your good memories and experiences you've had in school. Is there anything about your school experience that you wish was different? It doesn't necessarily have to be anything bad or negative, but is there anything that you wish was different during your school experience?
Yes, actually, I think that because when I was in high school, we did like a test, and I think that having to place, because in the beginning they did place me in self-contained like areas so I could have more time or go to the counselor's room and have to do the exam, like a state exam to do that. But
Hmm.
for like junior year, I believe, they had me in a classroom with a bunch of other students, and we just had to do the test. And the thing is, they didn't give me enough time to do the testing. So what I wish that could have been different was having placed me in a classroom with more time to give me, so this way I don't have to be stressed or freak out. I know it's not where they're gonna grade you or anything like that. They're
Hmm.
just giving you a score of where they could place you at based on the test that they're gonna give you. But other than that, I feel like that's what they should have done for me. I don't know about other students, but for me specifically, I felt like they should have put me in a different room basically, to where I could have more time to do the test or the exam, basically, the state exam.
Hmm. Becky, it's really important what you just said actually is so important to mention that for you, that would have been better. And
Mhm.
that might not be better for every student, but for you, that would have been better. And so that is such an important thing to mention because every student is an individual. So what works for one student might not work for another. So, so I'm glad that you brought that up, that that would have worked for you. And that is something that educators should consider and should consider and also just, be aware of that some students may need some extra time for
Mhm.
certain things like testing. And, if they're able to make that accommodation, that would be very helpful for certain students. So thank you for sharing that. Can you share what your experience is like at the Achievement Center? And what are some of the things that you learned or skills that you developed during your time there?
Sure. So, during my time at the Achievement Center, I'm still taking classes at the
Mhm.
Achievement Center, and I really enjoyed. In the beginning, obviously, it was COVID and the pandemic, etc. And I was actually afraid to go into the Achievement Center in the beginning because I thought that maybe the classes would be very difficult and I would struggle a lot. And so, over time, as I gotten used to the classes, like I took nonfiction class where we would read the book called Bronx Masquerade and talk about the emotions behind the characters and what they were feeling and how can those emotions or those comments in the stories that the readers are reading, how can we
Mhm.
relate that to our lives? And so I love that book, by the way. And at the same time, I like how to express my opinions based on what we were reading and what we had for homework and the assignments that we did. And then another thing, assignment or class I took was time management. Now, I still have to improve on time management, but over time, I'm getting better at it. It really did help me understand that planning and putting in my priorities first is most important than having to put the non-priorities last or midway into the beginning in my planner. And having to also take, there's a bunch of different classes that I've taken, but just to name a few, those are the ones that I've taken. I can go on and tell you how many classes I've been taking, but I don't want to spend too much time. But at the same time, I did take after I graduated the Achievement Center, I took RVCC classes, and that also helped me to communicate better with not only with the college campus, but outside of campus. Like, say, like if I was work when I'm working, I would communicate with a customer or I would communicate with my coworkers, things like that. So that actually helped me with understanding how to do that in the real world. And also, what really helped me in the Achievement Center was building leadership. I am not outside, I am not a complete leader, but within the Achievement Center, I am a leader. I do, help my classmates, or when we have Club Friday night, we help each other out. If there's a new person coming in, we help. Bob always says, help somebody who's scared or who's afraid or who is shy. I always try my best to make sure that, hey, the games that we're going to be playing, they're going to be really fun. We have arts, we have crafts, all these things. I can help you and you can help me, and introducing ourselves to understand who we are as individuals. That's what I really like about the Achievement Center. It really does bring individuals who have disabilities together. And even though the even though we're all different in so many ways, where I love using this word, we're like a melting pot of individuals in the Achievement Center. So if one there we all have strengths, we all have things to improve. Like I said during the last time couple months ago, I did not like the word weakness because it does bring down self-esteem based on who you are as a person. What I like to say is improvement. What can anybody can improve? What I can improve as a person if I need help with something. I could ask either my peer mentor or Bob or anyone who's a part of the Achievement Center. I can ask them, hey, can you help me with either my RVCC classes or Achievement Center classes if I don't understand something? They're like, okay, well, Rebecca, why don't you go to your professor at their RVCC after like school hours or during the day, so then this way they can explain better of what you're supposed to be doing for either for the assignment or for the project.
Yes. And I really like that you said, when you first started, you yourself, you were, a bit unsure, a little nervous. But
Mhm.
now, as like you said, as a leader, and you are a leader in the Achievement Center and outside in the world outside of that as well, I am sure. But you're helping the newcomers, help ease their fears and their nervousness as they come to the Achievement Center. So that's really great. And I love what you said about time management. I am a lot older than you, and I still have issues with time management, as I'm sure many of our listeners do. So it's always a work in progress. So and thank you. I also like what you said about not using the word weakness.
Mhm.
And just saying, what you can improve on, and we all have things we can improve. And we all have our own strengths, as you said, and being a melting pot is a great way to really put that, because everybody comes together, and all of the things that we bring to the table are so important, and they help each other. We all help each other in our own ways. Thank you for sharing that. So my last question is, what message would you like everyone who is listening to the podcast to know about the importance of inclusive education and inclusion for students with disabilities?
Sure. So having to be included is my message would be to include everyone, not just the individuals with non-disabilities, but everybody, no matter if you have a disability or you have a hidden disability or just a disability in general. I think everyone, like I said before, is a melting pot. Everyone can learn, no matter what you are struggling with. Everyone can improve on anything, and to educate someone or any person, it takes time. And having patience with individuals is a great thing because in this way, not only are you teaching us, but in some way we're teaching you as well.
Perfect. Wonderful message to send. Um, and just everything you said, just all of sharing your goals and your dreams for the future, and your experience that you had as a younger student in elementary school and high school, and now the work that you're doing for yourself with the classes at the Achievement Center, and then also helping other people who are joining the Achievement Center. It's just all really awesome work that you're doing, and really glad that we have been able to connect. And I really look forward to staying in touch with you and seeing where you're at in the next few years. Becky, thank you so much.
Thank you
I'm
for
going
having
to.
me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And I'm looking forward, as I said, I'm looking forward to see all of the great things that you are going to achieve in your future. So it's great talking with you, and I will be in touch.
Thank you so much.
We thank you for listening to this episode of the Inclusion Think Tank podcast. This podcast is brought to you by All In for Inclusive Education. Be sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube. Stay tuned for new episodes of the podcast premiering every 2 weeks. We're all in. Are you?